watching NewsX. My name is Vineet Malhotra. Rahul's departure from the north and his candidature from Kerala's Wayanad seat has long been a thorn in the leg for Congress in north of Vindhyas. In this Lok Sabha election, Rahul Gandhi faces a tough battle in Wayanad against CPI's Annie Raja and BJP's K. Surendran. In 2019, Rahul Gandhi won the Wayanad seat by 4,31,000 votes, the highest margin in 2019 Lok Sabha polls across Kerala. Amid the battle for Wayanad, there remains a tantalizing question: will he or won't he hear about Amethi, which has been and continues to be a staunchly Congress seat in a state that has voted religiously for the Saffron Party and the Modi wave since the 2014 general election. Now, what will be the fate of Wayanad? Who has won the hearts of the people of Wayanad remains to be seen. On that note, my colleague Kanika Katiyar has spoken to Rahul Gandhi's principal opponents, Annie Raja from CPI and K. Surendran from BJP. Listen in and then we'll start our conversation.
वायनाड में आज वोटिंग हो रही है, लगातार जो है वोटिंग का प्रोसेस जारी है। मेरे साथ एलडीएफ की तरफ से जो उम्मीदवार हैं एनी राजा, वो मौजूद है। मैम, आप लगातार जा रही हैं, आप बूथ पॉइंट्स पे भी गई हैं, कितनी कॉन्फिडेंट है अपनी जीत को लेकर आप?
देखो, मैं ये बोल रही कि पिछली 2 महीने में मैं जनता की बीच में है, वायनाड के अंदर वोटर्स के बीच में संवाद करके, बातचीत करके, और हम क्या करेंगे यदि लोग हमें चुनेगा, तो ये तमाम चीजें लोगों के सामने रख रही है। तो लोगों के बीच में, वोटर्स के बीच में एक बहुत बड़ा उम्मीद था, एक बहुत बड़ा विश्वास था, एक बहुत बड़ा सेलिब्रेशन था। वही सेलिब्रेशन आज मैं इन बूथों में देख रही है। तो मैं पूरा कॉन्फिडेंट हूँ कि मैं
लगातार राहुल गांधी पिछली बार जीते थे 4.5 लाख वोट से मार्जिन से। इस बार आपको लगता है कि राहुल गांधी जीतेंगे या कोई ऐसा?
अमेठी से वायनाड में क्यों आ गया है? तो जनवाद के अंदर, डेमोक्रेसी के अंदर जनता जनार्दन ने, जनता तय करेंगी कि किसको जिताना है, किसको हराना है। तो इट इज ऑल इन द हैंड्स ऑफ
किसको चुना है मैम?
That's what I'm saying. That's what I am very categorically saying. मैं इसलिए साफ कर रही है कि मैं इधर वामपंथी दल का उम्मीदवार के तौर पर इधर आया कंटेस्ट करने का और जीतने का, और मैं जीत रही है।
वायनाड में एक माहौल देखने को मिल रहा है। राहुल गांधी एक बार जीत चुके हैं, दोबारा चुनावी मैदान में। कितना कॉन्फिडेंट है अपनी जीत को लेकर आप?
101% कॉन्फिडेंट है। That much anger against Rahul Gandhi here, na? राहुल गांधी बिट्रेड वायनाड।
लेकिन लगातार कांग्रेस पार्टी ये कह रही है कि बीजेपी जो है कहीं ना कहीं भटकाने की कोशिश कर रही है, मुद्दों से भटकाने की कोशिश कर रही है। कांग्रेस पार्टी ये भी कह रही है कि अगर दोबारा सरकार बनी तो कॉन्स्टिट्यूशन ऑफ इंडिया खतरे में आ जाएगा।
ये ऑलवेज दे आर सेइंग ना, व्हाट इज हाउ कांग्रेस पार्टी कैन से दिस? देयर लीडर राहुल गांधी गोइंग अब्रॉड एंड स्पीकिंग अगेंस्ट इंडिया, इंडियाज इलेक्शन, टैंपरिंग ईवीएम्स। आज सुप्रीम कोर्ट में आपने क्या देखा? कांग्रेस पार्टी सच एन इररेस्पॉन्सिबल स्टैंड। हु इज विद राहुल गांधी? पीएफआई, बैंड ऑर्गेनाइजेशन। पीएफआई's पॉलिटिकल पार्टी इज विद राहुल गांधी इन केरला एंड वायनाडो। जमायत इस्लामी राहुल गांधी जी के साथ है ना? सो मुस्लिम लीग राहुल गांधी जी के साथ। ऑल एंटी इंडियन टेररिस्ट ऑर्गेनाइजेशंस, अर्बन नक्सल, टुकड़े गैंग राहुल गांधी जी के साथ है ना? वही ऐसे बोलना नहीं इंडिया के खिलाफ। आईएनडी अलायंस इज टोटली अगेंस्ट इंडिया।
लगातार कांग्रेस पार्टी ये कहती आई है कि वायनाड में जब जब लोगों को दिक्कत होती है, कोई परेशानी आती है, आपदा आती है, राहुल गांधी उस वक्त यहाँ मौजूद होते हैं, लोगों के बीच में रहते हैं।
क्या किया राहुल गांधी जी? कितने बार इधर आया? हाउ मेनी क्वेश्चंस ही रेज्ड इन पार्लियामेंट रिलेटेड टू वायनाड? हाउ मेनी टाइम्स ही केम हियर? What is his project for Wayanad? You can ask Rahul Gandhi. I would like to ask Rahul Gandhi, what is your prestigious project for Wayanad? Apart from the spending of the MP lad, nothing has happened here.
All right, let's talk about this. And joining me on the program at this point in time is Mr. Himanshu Bhatt, senior journalist, Mr. Sandeep Chandra, political analyst, with me to my left in the studio. Vinita Hariharan, BJP spokesperson, also joins us on the program. Dr. Pooja Tripathi, Congress spokesperson, also with us on the program. Last but by no means the least, Mr. Akil Khan, political analyst to my right in the studio as well. Mr. Khan, I'll begin with you. First up, let's get your opinion on phase 2 elections and what does this mean for both the parties. We are going to be focusing specifically on what Wayanad is going to bring about for Rahul Gandhi, and let's also keep the prism when we look at the situation that the Congress has always dominated in Kerala, the big question is, will they get to retain that dominance, or has the BJP and of course the left, the CPIM, have they made some sort of dents for the Congress party, as has been done in North India as well?
Vineet, it's not a question of Rahul Gandhi's election or not election or where he is fighting from. The biggest question is today, what our present government led by Mr. Narendra Modi has done over the last 10 years. I have been observing since before the election, and then since many weeks, that our Prime Minister is not talking about anything about what he has done in last 10 years. He is talking about 2047 going to become the developed country, and talking about 1947. What about the present day? There are a lot of changes has occurred over the time, and there will be a lot of changes will be occurring after 2047. There is no question about talking about all those time 47, 1947, 2047. What you have done during the last 10 years, Modi ji, 90% of the time, I am telling you specifically, 90% of the time Modi ji is just making allegation. He is talking about Nehru, he is talking about Rahul Gandhi, he is talking about Congress, he is talking about Aam Aadmi. He is not talking about what BJP has done over the last 10 years. You see, the most important point is that he is talking about developed nation 2047. What happened during the last 10 years? Developing economy. From a developing economy, our country was there. It has degraded by the international agencies into underdeveloping economy. This is the performance of BJP during the last 10 years, and they have no plan in for future. They have not giving any plan that in after winning this 2024 election, if means whatever they think about what they are going to do, they are not telling anything about this. It's a really, our Prime Minister, I don't think he is up to the mark, up to the standard of a Prime Minister of a country.
Okay.
You see, I would like to mention one point here. My friend from US, he called me yesterday. He said that what is going on in Delhi, our Prime Minister has got very not a very good image in US and other big countries. You see, this is the things which we should take care of it, and in our own country, nothing is going to be there for the development of the people.
Let's get a response to what you have said, and I would also like to tell you, before I get a response from Mr. Chandra, is that the CEO of JP Morgan very recently complimented our Prime Minister. He said that what Modi is doing in India should be done in the United States as well. And that is just information that I'm sharing with you, and it's completely objective on my part. Mr. Chandra, you want to respond to what Mr. Khan has said and also reflect on the permutation and combination that could spell for both the parties in Kerala, for the BJP, the Congress, and to the certain extent to the CPIM as well?
Good evening, Vinayji. It is been a pleasure and privilege to come on your show. I would like to say that, not only in India, the world is talking about Mr. Modi. And why is the world talking about Mr. Modi? They're talking about Mr. Modi because the person at the top makes a difference. Today, the self-respect of Indians has really gone up. The value of Indian passport when Congress was in power from 2004 to 14, and if you compare now, it has gone up by 100 times. Like you said, the CEO of JP Morgan himself said, I read that article word by word, his statement, and he said that 400 million, that is 40 crore Indians have been plucked from below the poverty line, and they have come up above the poverty line. Also, what I would like to say, that Mr. Rahul Gandhi, if he wants to learn politics, he should tell Mr. Modi, look, I have failed. I want to learn politics. Mr. Modi has got a very large heart, apart from having, big shoulders and 56-inch ka seena, that he will say, okay, I will teach you. Fact of the matter is this, look at Varanasi. Before Mr. Modi was an MP from there, and now. It is difference in Varanasi pre Mr. Modi and post Mr. Modi is, and presently is, like chalk and cheese. You have, Rahul Gandhi on the contrary has run away. Elections are won and they are lost, but you cannot leave the battlefield. You have left and you have gone to Wayanad. Why is he gone to Wayanad? I would like to, tell the whole country on your, very, talked about show that he has run away because Congress is guilty. I charge them on national television of doing minority appeasement at the cost of the majority interests. Mr. Modi said, "Sabka Saath, Sabka Vikas, Sabka Vishwas." He said, we will, give development to all the countrymen, but no minority appeasement at the cost of majority interests. You have gone to Wayanad. What have you done about Wayanad? You got, MP-led funds, you got other funds, you've got the Congress party backing you. What have you done? And you want to become Prime Minister? So this is all pipe dream. The whole country is watching with horror that you have surrendered UP. UP gives 80 seats. Mr. Modi has come from Gujarat. His Janbhoomi is Gujarat. His Karambhoomi is UP. And I would also like to say that look what the Chief Minister, Yogi Adityanath ji has given a sterling performance of this double engine ki sarkar. Today, the mafia running towards the police stations. Please, we would like to surrender because they know that life is in peril. There is no question of any extremists or any crime. The crime rate has virtually dropped to zero in if you compare it in Congress's times. Today, Rahul Gandhi only raises issues trying to put petrol into fire. Manipur. What has happened to Rafale? I would like to ask the countrymen through you, Mr. Malhotra, that what has happened to Rafale? Today, why is he not raising Rafale? Because dead issue. Then let us talk about EVM. Today, when the opposition comes in power in Telangana, EVM is working fine. EVM is working fine in Punjab. EVM is working fine in Himachal. But when the ruling party wins, EVM is. So these are all dead issues. And today, Mr. Modi is on the cusp of again coming back to power with a brute majority because of his work. And he will unfurl our great national flag on 15th August.
I get a feeling that Dr. Pooja Tripathi is itching to respond to what you have said. But taking an excerpt, Dr. Pooja, out of what Mr. Chandra said, and he's made a very valid point. Why does Rahul Gandhi have to go all the way to Wayanad? UP and certain areas in UP have been the bastions of the Congress party for which they were known. Have they abandoned them? Or is it the fear or the inhibition of a loss which has driven this change of constituencies?
We need, first of all, we should change Mr. Chandra's credentials to BJP spokesperson. That would suit him more.
Thank you very much.
Because the outright lies and outright,
not lies, the objective truths.
Just one instance that virtually UP's crime rate has dropped to zero. The NCRB
if you compare to Congress's times.
Person, Mr. Chandra, and UP tops the rate in the 2022 NCRB report against crimes against women. So that's just one. There were many factual errors in your statement, which I would not like to comment because I just corrected the UP's crime rate. So coming to you, Vineet, is there written somewhere that somebody will not contest from 2 seats? Has our candidate for Amethi and Raebareli been discussed? If they have been discussed and the Gandhis were not contesting, then you could have been in a position to say, and I would accept that we have abandoned UP. It's still not there. We are here discussing about Wayanad, and in Wayanad, Mr. Gandhi contested both Amethi and Wayanad. Amethi he lost, but in Wayanad he recorded one of the biggest voting. He received one of the biggest voting percentage, and with his whoever he defeated, he something around 4.776 lakh votes he defeated the incumbent. And the amount, Vineet, I was in the day Mr. Gandhi was filing his nomination, I was in 2-3 panel discussions. And whenever the ground reporters were talking to people, they were not understanding the language. There was a language barrier. And whoever was asking them, they were saying Rahul Gandhi. And they were laughing on the BJP candidate. They were laughing on the other candidate. So that shows I'm not saying that I'm degrading the opposition candidate. That shows the love, adulation, affection of the people of Wayanad for Mr. Gandhi. And Mr. Gandhi in turn has when he completed his Bharat Jodo Yatra in Kashmir, he first went to Wayanad before he reached Delhi to meet their people to just sort out some issues of community vehicle at the community health center, the Anganwadi center, which is called Samskari Mishan Nayala in Wayanad. So I'm saying that RG's term, Rahul Gandhi's term, began in Wayanad in 2019, and 2019, 18, 19 was the time when Wayanad saw massive, disastrous effects of the floods. So the relief was, relief over 18,500 families, relief, every kind of medical relief, rehabilitation relief was overseen by Mr. Gandhi.
Okay.
Wayanad faces two major issues. It's in constituencies and south. It's two major issues. There's the man-animal conflict and the night traffic ban on NH17. So Rahul Gandhi has been writing constantly to center, first to extend moratorium on the farm loans because there has been flood havoc there. Then expansion of Narega because people's livelihood was lost. Then his urgent repair of road infrastructure, and then for the uplifting of the night ban on the NH. And he has been writing for food processing industry, for setting up a spice park, for a food park, things like that. And it's the sheer love and affection. And look at who is contesting against Mr. Gandhi. It's BJP State President Mr. K. Surendran. In 2019, he contested Pathanamthitta and he secured third position. And in 2021, he contested Kerala Assembly seats from two constituencies, Manjeshwaram and Konni, and he lost both. So when we say that my fellow panelists before me was saying that Mr. Gandhi should go to Mr. Modi and say that I have failed, Mr. Gandhi was the one who took 3,500 kilometers Bharat Jodo Yatra on the foot from south to north, 4,500 from east.
Okay,
west.
all right. Let's bring in Mr. Himanshu Bhatt into this conversation as well. Yeah, Mr. Himanshu Bhatt.
Yeah.
You obviously, Wayanad, when it comes to Rahul Gandhi, a lot of people consider it to be a done deal. He has some stature in Kerala. He may not be able to utilize or leverage that stature in UP anymore because of, the Yogi Adityanath factor, the Prime Minister Modi factor, and of course, the BJP factor. But the reality is that Rahul Gandhi is still a potent force, not a spent force, mind you, in the state of Kerala. And neither is Congress.
Who is saying he's a spent force? No, he's not a spent force. He'll win in Wayanad. I'm telling you today.
Well, despite the discourse of income redistribution and whatnot that has taken place in the last few days, it has not made much of a difference on what Rahul Gandhi's prospects are in Wayanad.
The reason for that is very, very simple. You have to understand the reason. You have to understand the Lok Sabha constituency for that. See, in Kerala, almost every constituency is divided into three on caste basis, if you see. And another thing is, there it's India Alliance versus India Alliance on national level. Now, what they tell their voters is a different thing altogether. But Rahul Gandhi will win there. But they have, last time around, 2019, he won by a huge margin. The reason was very, very simple. People of Kerala and people of Tamil Nadu, two states in particular I am referring to, because I have covered those things, were thinking that Rahul will be the next Prime Minister. So the margin was so huge. It happens in any area, any state for that matter. So I will not discount that. But this time around, CPI and CPIM has made it very, very clear it's not going to be a friendly fight. Rahul Gandhi will win, but he will win with a fight. What he had that time will not be a cakewalk. And as far as I'm concerned, I'll be interested to see what Mr. Surendra gets for BJP. Because BJP is on a threshold over there. If you see the votes, BJP has never crossed an average of 12% votes in Kerala. Despite having those numbers, they have not been able to convert any of the Lok Sabha seats. Wayanad is not going to happen. But will Surendra in Wayanad get 12% vote? If you see the results of 2019, the third candidate, after a CPI candidate and Mr. Rahul Gandhi. The third candidate polled just 7% votes. Will he be able to cross that? That's going to be the fight. So when we talk specifically about Wayanad, Rahul Gandhi is not a spent force. He's a potent force, all right. But then the issue comes there, this time around, in entire southern state, the way we are looking at the whole thing, be it Congress, be it DMK, be it UDF, PD, be it LDF. And UDF and LDF, when they fight, and suppose the people of Kerala, in a particular section of people in Kerala, those who have been voting LDF and UDF, decide to stop tactical voting and go for their party line, then what happens? See, we do not know. The results will come out on
You made a
4th.
very valid point, but Mr. Khan, what about the outreach that the Prime Minister and, the senior members of the Bharatiya Janata Party have been making in South India, including in Kerala? I know you have your own pessimism about BJP's chances in South India, but the fact of the matter is that the Prime Minister and the BJP has worked really hard to create this space for themselves in South India. Do you think it's going to fructify into votes, or to say the least vote share?
I don't think BJP has not done anything for the country. What he has done for the Kerala now? Kerala only our Prime Minister comes out of his whatever it is we can say, only during the elections. He is not concerned during all 10 years, he is not concerned about South. That's why South is very much against them. And I am very much confident that South is going to defeat BJP very, very strongly. And in North also, you see, forget about Haryana. Haryana is not, they are not going to do anything good which they have done last time. Only state which I can say is UP, where Mr. Yogi Adityanath has done something good and better, I can say, to influence the people there. Psychologically and emotionally as well, by taking the minorities and doing all these sorts of things, which has got the emotional saying. The most important thing which I see here, that Punjab is going out of hands of BJP. Haryana is going. In Rajasthan, there is a very big setback for BJP. Maharashtra, I would say Maharashtra is going to give a very big jerk to BJP. And in all over the country, if you see the present status, what our Prime Minister is doing, he is just making allegation. He is just trying to defame the Congress and Rahul Gandhi and all other leaders. He has nothing to say about his performance. You see, I would like to say one thing before this election started. BJP has done its own survey, and they find it is going to be under 200 seats. So they have made this strategy, okay, make this kind of thing, the 400 plus we are going to give. This is the kind of approach BJP has been using. And my friend Sandeep ji
How much do you think they will get, sir? What about you? What's your subjective feeling about how much does the BJP get this time? Forget about their own survey. What do you feel?
I would say less than 200. Okay. Even what Rahul Gandhi has said.
So the survey that you're referring to and your own prediction is the same, Rab, in a way.
Under 200, BJP is not going to cross 200. This is for sure. This is my analysis.
All right.
And most important thing is that what Modi ji is doing right now, he is making the mockery of democracy. He says he will change the constitution. For what? What you have done during the last 10 years, you have not done anything good for the country, and you are just making superfluous things that we will do this in 2047 and all those things. This is not the...
Which part of the constitution did he say he would change, sir? Which part of the constitution did he refer to changing?
They want to change totally. They want to change it so that it will suit their own agenda. This is what they are doing is they are making the corruption as a secondary issue. They are making that they will only some people, those who are in the power and those who are in the economic power, they will be getting some very big positions there. And apart from this, minority they are targeting. They are targeting minorities, and the most important aspect is that when they are targeting minorities and other people, those who are underprivileged, they are just want to show that we are going to change it for the betterment of those who are already has got good position in the country.
Let Mr. Chandra respond to what you said. Under 200, that's perhaps one of the very few times I've heard, the BJP having or expecting a count less than 200. How do you respond to that?
I would like to,
and of course, also respond to the changing of constitution bit that Mr. Khan.
Yeah, Vinitji, you nailed the whole issue by asking this question. I would like to start by saying, diving into the topic, that Mr. Modi is going to make history. The person at the top makes a difference. Today, not only India, the whole world is talking about Mr. Modi. Mr. Modi, by his proactive, affirmative action, has made India the center of attraction for international investment.
Give some example?
I am giving you example. I am giving you example. The biggest semiconductor company, which is is going to overtake Apple, Microsoft, etc., is poised to, has promised investment in India and semiconductor.
Sir, what about Elon Musk?
One minute.
What about Elon Musk Tesla?
Elon
Musk refused to
come. Don't interrupt.
He's not refused, sir. He's postponed.
Don't interrupt. Elon Musk is going to make the biggest investment in India just because he is not come. He is, he had some important meetings and he has postponed his visit. When Mr. Modi
Prime Minister,
one minute,
you see Prime Minister of
one
India.
minute, 1 minute.
He has postponed.
Let him finish.
Let me complete.
Finish.
Don't interrupt. Not correct. Otherwise, I will interrupt you. Now, fact of the matter is this, that when Mr. Modi goes to the US, top Fortune 500 companies, chairmen, CEOs and managing directors line up to meet him. Why do they line up to meet him? Because India has become a hot destination. Today, the share market is booming. Why is it booming? Not because Mr. Modi has ordered it to boom, because of the investor sentiment. And I would also like to say that forget 200 seats. Anybody can dream. BJP will cross 400 or touching this figure. You see, there is now today in the country, it is not Mr. Modi's wave, it is Mr. Modi's tsunami. And you will find even in South, where they say BJP is weak, he is trying very hard. For Mr. Modi, each and every seat is important. And I would like to say, you're talking about Nyaya Yatra, why doesn't Mr. Rahul Gandhi take out a white paper about what he is contributing to Wayanad? You are just there because you are exploiting the minority vote bank by putting fear. And I would also like to now, charge Mr. Rahul Gandhi, his Muh Bola uncle, Sam Petroda, when he was asked by long time back about what is your opinion about Sikh riots in Delhi, he said, "Jo hua so hua." Then they said, what do you mean? Hua so hua. No, my Hindi is weak. Again, now he's come up with this inheritance tax and Congress is, distant. Then you find another prince says, in accented Hindi, can't speak proper Hindi, our Rashtra Bhasha, that hum bhi election landa mangta Amethi se, Robert Vadra. What is your claim to fame? You have taken away land from, poor farmers in Haryana, change of land use and sold it to big corporates. What's your claim to fame? Because this is a Namdhar destiny party, that anybody who's got this, and even this Gandhi surname is misleading. Talking about Gandhi, the genesis of the whole problem in this country is how very craftily the seat of the prime ministership was snatched away from Sardar Vallabhbhai Patel, despite all 90% Congress committees all over the country voting for Sardar Patel, and handed over into the lap of Jawaharlal Nehru. Jawaharlal Nehru is responsible for the complete Chinese, taking over our thousands of square kilometers, and our, brave soldiers were massacred. And if you compare it to Mr. Modi, the brave fighter pilot who was taken prisoners of war, in Pakistan, when he had to eject from his fighter jet, he wouldn't have come back alive if Mr. Modi was not the Prime Minister. Mr. Modi put the fear of God into Pakistan, and they were trembling that any time India, because he said, if even एक हमारे fighter pilot का बाल भी कोई छुएगा तो देख लेना हम क्या करेंगे. So this is Mr. Modi, and regarding Congress, it is less said the better. You have looted the country. You have used this as an ATM, automatic teller machine.
Okay.
And I would also like to say that come election day,
All right.
today
All right. Let's. All right, sir. You said a lot. Let's get a response from Dr. Pooja Tripathi. Then Mr. Khan will also like to weigh in to what the comments you have made, and then we go to Mr. Himanshu. But let's keep the sequence, please. Dr. Pooja Tripathi, how do you respond?
I think my fellow panelists should stop reading WhatsApp forwards from mass Sanatani groups and Narendra Modi Ekbar or Facebook groups. I think the fact that he laid about Sardar Vallabhbhai Patel, the fact that he laid about everyone was, they're outrageous. I mean, he was just going on today, Mr. There is a satellite images saying China is making a road in Siachen Glacier. Today, in supposedly Modi ji's tsunami, there's a thing. The Sonam Wangchuk with thousands of Ladakhis are protesting in Ladakh region, Leh Ladakh region, asking the restoration of the pastoral lands. And they were talking about, Pakistan mein dar baitha diya. Major Shaitan Singh, the great Paramveer Chakra Major Shaitan Singh's memorial was destroyed because it came in the buffer zone, but the tsunami of Narendra Modi ji could not yet preserve the memorial of somebody as great as the Paramveer Chakra Major Shaitan Singh. I think this needs to be said. The whole election propaganda, the whole electioneering that's going on, it's basing on Machli, Mutton, Muslim League, Mangal Sutra. Mr. Modi is not giving any roadmap, any vision about what he's doing about the job crisis that's roaming in the country. He's not giving any roadmap on the backbreaking inflation. He's not giving any roadmap. He goes on boldly in front of national television and says, "Na koi gussa hai, na hamari seema mein koi ghusega," while our soldiers were being martyred and massacred in the Chinese border. So I think this needs to be said when we talk about the national security, when we talk about the national integrity, when we talk about the people's issue at places. You were asking Vinny to my fellow panelists what constitutional changes they will bring. They are claiming it's Jyoti Mirza, it's Anand Hegde, it's Lallu Singh who's been claiming कि सरकार तो 272 में बन जाएगी, हमें 400 चाहिए संविधान बदलने के लिए. What are you trying to change when you come to power? The Samvidhan has been built on the blood and soil of the freedom fighters of the country, and you cannot, this the whole 400 हमें चाहिए 400, and Mr. Modi just goes on to claim कि बाबा साहब भी आ जाएंगे तो संविधान नहीं बदलेगा, but no action is being taken against these Lok Sabha candidates who go on and in the public rallies and say हमें 400 चाहिए संविधान बदलने के लिए. So I'm saying that this question should be asked to the BJP spokesperson.
Okay. Mr. Khan wants to respond, and then we go to Mr. Himanshu.
Sandeep ji has said many things, and I would like to say only one sentence, that whatever Sandeep ji is telling, just opposite is true. 90% of the time. He has not given any kind of example what our BJP and Prime Minister has done during the last 10 years. The most important thing, you are talking about the image of India abroad, and the most important recently, what the human rights report released by our Human Rights Commission, released earlier in the US, which says annual human rights assessment released earlier this week found significant abuses in India's northeast state Manipur, and attacks on minorities, journalists and dissenting voices in the rest of the country. This is the biggest allegation, this is the biggest report against the Prime Minister Modi, and there are many, my friends are there in many other countries. The Modi ji is making the mockery of our democracy. I don't think any example you can give.
So what proof,
apart from his position as a Prime Minister.
You have to give proof also, sir, right? we all have people who live in the US. I go every year. I went in December. What we have to give proof if there is a decline in the
You
image.
see, this
you
report says...
You have to give proof. Like Mr. Chandra said, that the CEO of JP Morgan went on to praise the Prime Minister. Mark Zuckerberg.
He's a businessman. He is a businessman.
He's a professional. He's a professional. No, sir. He's not a businessman. He's a professional, sir. He's an employee of JP Morgan.
He wants money. He is concerned with the money only.
The CEO of JP Morgan will not have a dearth of money, sir.
You have talked so much. Now you shut up. We are concerned about money.
You see, what about this report from the US government? Whole US government is giving this report against our dissenting voices and the rest of the country, attacks on minorities, journalists. This is the report, official report from US, and our Prime Minister is telling nothing. Because he doesn't tell anything about what a significant development in the world.
What minorities
there is no respect for our country is now remaining in this world.
I would like to say that as far as minority is concerned, I would like to ask a question from the Congress party. Why didn't you try to get legislation for making triple talaq illegal? Why did it?
What did they use?
1 minute. Why did
there
it
are
take
more
Mr.
important
Modi?
aspect things are there.
Because
people are dying of hunger. 22 crore people sleeping hungry. What is this? No need. No need. Minority doesn't need these all. No minority need this, and no Hindu population need this. Nobody needs this. 80% of our country's population you are feeding with 5 kg of anaj. What is this?
Mr. Khan, calm down. Mr. Khan, calm down. Mr. Khan, calm down, sir. All right, okay.
Making this country poorer in the last 10 years.
One second. Mr. Dharinder Tyal, BJP spokesperson, also joins us on the show. Mr. Tyal, welcome, sir. I hope you can hear us. Mr. Tyal, sir, would you unmute yourself?
Unmute.
Just a minute. Yeah, can you hear me now?
Right. So, how do you respond to the argument that you have just heard concerning minorities in India and how the world views us and the Prime Minister?
Hello?
Mr. Tyal?
Yeah, could you, because I couldn't hear, I just joined, I couldn't hear what it was. If you can just give me the background, I'll respond to that.
All right. So basically, Mr. Khan is of the opinion that India's image outside of India has degraded in the last 10 years. Mr. Chandra and Mr. Bhatt are of the opinion that it's the other way around. Correct. You, of course, being a BJP spokesperson, I know which way you would rather swing, but I still want you to respond to this.
So is that with respect to the, so let us be very honest about it. I mean, it is not really a matter of which way I would swing, but that is what everybody feels. The simple matter is that you ask any NRI, if you're talking international, ask any NRI what is the reputation of India. If you've been able to extract your people in the most difficult of circumstances, people have stopped their wars to let your people go. It is because you have an image. Today, the Prime Minister leads a pack of the heads of states and does not stand behind with folded hands behind the POTUS. So that is the prestige of India. Both Russia and Ukraine come to India and tell them, please help us out, resolve this. So everywhere, I mean, even countries, the Gulf, which was, I mean, if we're talking about minorities, then that is where the minorities, the Muslim religion is. The Gulf is responding so positively. The sheikhs are attending the openings of the temples there. That is the kind of reputation India has today. So it's a fantastic reputation. It has never, ever been better than this. India is no longer servile. Let me tell you something extremely important where India's reputation is concerned. The gender of India has changed. We are no longer a soft state. We were a soft state. Something happens, we would run to the UN and say, look, Pakistan is doing this. Not today. India knows how to handle itself. It is masculine. It is concerned. It gives vaccines to the people. You know, it is helpful, but at the same time, it takes no nonsense from anybody. So today, you are the 5th largest economy. And I heard something about economy. 3 days back, there was a report from Goldman Sachs that not only is India going to be number 3, India is going to be number 2 economy in the world. What more do you want? You are the best performing economy of the world. You've got the best status in
No,
the
no, no,
world.
no, 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 sir, no, sir. Let him finish. Let him finish his point, sir. Let him finish his point. Okay, sir, I get your point. I would like Dr. Pooja Tripathi to come in now. Dr. Pooja Tripathi, is it necessary, for the sake of political ranjish or animosity, that we always look at the glass half empty? Isn't it possible for your party and the opposition to appreciate what has been done in the last 10 years? It's all right to negate what the Bharatiya Janata Party may have tried to do, but the fact of the matter is that there are some things which even the blind can see that have changed.
I have a little complaint from you in particular right now. When somebody makes a preposterous claim like war rukwa di, and Russia ne kaha, Ukraine ne kaha, you should correct the panelists because they'll not hear us. Was the fanboys of Modi.
It's a democracy, Dr. Pooja Tripathi. I allow people. I've also allowed you to say a lot of things which did not make sense. But I still allowed it. I still allowed it, Dr. Pooja Tripathi.
I would challenge if this is incorrect.
Let me complete. I listened to you intently. Let me complete. Ministry of External Affairs, spokesperson Arindam Bagchi said, nobody, I repeat, nobody can stop war, and anyone who makes a claim is exaggerating the claim. This is Ministry of External Affairs spokesperson. So you should not make this claim ki war rukwadi. I think a major embarrassment has been done. When you say the glass has been half full, I look at, there was a video of a girl who was filled with tears, who could not cry, saying ki main roongi to mere bhai behan ka kya hoga. A person thrives on 27 rupees a day. The 1% of the population owns 40% of the resources, while we see a vegetable vendor saying gujara nahi ho raha hai rote hue. These are not political claims. These are the videos from independent neutral media that's there on the social media. The girl that had tears in the eyes, the vegetable vendor that's saying gujara nahi ho raha hai. Every hour, 2 youth and 1 farmer commit suicide. So you are asking me to see I want to see a glass half filled.
But didn't these things happen during the UPA, Dr. Tripathi?
Divide between
Did these things happen? Did these things happen when your party was in charge or not?
Country, I want to see Vineet.
Dr. Pooja Tripathi, I'm asking you a simple question. Didn't these things happen when your party was in charge? Wasn't there unemployment? Wasn't there farmer suicide?
Vineet, I want to, as a woman, I want to see a Prime Minister of a country and Minister of Women and Child Development has to make a statement on a woman being paraded naked in Manipur, that to somebody who served in Kargil as a soldier, wife of someone. I want to see Prime Minister speaking outright frankly and on the gang rape that happened at Varanasi by its own IT cell members. I want to see a minister. I'm saying rather different from the political ideology. I want to see a minister not run away from the questions of the Ankita Bhandari's rape and murder that happened in Uttarakhand.
Okay, all right. Okay. Mr. Thyal wants to come in and then we go to Mr. Bhatt. Mr. Thyal, a quick response to what Dr. Pooja Tripathi has said. Then we go to Mr. Bhatt, then Mr. Chandra and Mr. Khan.
One thing very interesting, because Congress speaking about women is really very, very cute. Let me tell you, I come from Chandigarh. The state president of the Women Congress has said, I am afraid to be in the Congress headquarters, state headquarters alone. That is Congress and women for you, right? When something happened in Bengal, they just shut up. Now, talking about facts, they're saying people are dying of hunger. 80 crore people are being given food. Nobody is dying of hunger. She should know that. Rahul Gandhi, she's talking about lying. Rahul Gandhi has been issued a notice by Election Commission for lying because the world has reported 25 crore people have come out of poverty, and Rahul Gandhi has lied saying 20 crore people have gone into poverty. That is the lies you are talking about. So for them to employ unemployment she's talking about, let me tell you, our economy is 3.7 trillion, right? Growing at 6.7%, which means we've added another production of about 204 lakh crores. Who produced it if there was no employment generated? Let them not talk nonsense. I mean, to just talk armchair without...
Sir, what about per capita income, sir?
Okay, all right.
Per capita income of
let
India.
Mr. Himanshu Bhatt respond to that. What about per capita income, Mr. Bhatt?
No, more before going to that, I want to correct one particular factual error, and that is about Russia-Ukraine war. So here, first reference was Russia-Ukraine war at the full scale was stopped to get Indian students out of that war zone. And Arindam Bakshi did not talk of stopping the war by Prime Minister. That nobody does that. Let's be very, very clear about that.
Let he come to that, Mr. Khan.
Russian and a Ukrainian foreign minister here in Bharat, when he came, he invited Prime Minister to come back after the election. And so did Vladimir Putin. That is what the reference was. Nobody is saying that anyone can stop the war. That's a factual error, because the misinterpretation and then misrepresentation leads to something which leads to this chaos. Which
Okay, all right. I want Mr. Chandra to respond to the per capita comment that has been made by Mr. Khan. Mr. Bhatt, I'll come to you. I'll come to you, sir. Mr. Chandra, I want you to respond to the per capita point that has been made by Mr. Khan. Let's also reflect on the PPP, the purchasing power parity that exists in India today.
Viniji, you asked a very important question. The question about per capita income. You see, this is a dynamic, situation. You find during COVID, post-COVID, today we are talking about per capita income. Like, the esteemed panelist, Mr. Tyal, BJP spokesperson, said that nobody is dying of hunger in India. Nobody is dying of. 1 minute, let me complete. And also this, this charade of per capita income. Today, everybody has full of aspirations. Everybody, Indian, especially the youngsters, are full of ambitions. The government की नीयत है कि सबको जॉब मिले. कभी जॉब कम मिलती, कभी ज्यादा मिलती, मगर जॉब मिले. 1 minute. And also 1 minute. No, let me complete.
Let him finish.
I would like to say and compliment the successful Prime Minister in the history of India, Mr. Narendra Damodar Das Modi, for also picking up the right person for the right job. Look, today the External Affairs Minister, Mr. Jai Shankar, is touted as probably the best External Affairs Minister on the planet, number one. Number two, Nirmala Sitharamanji has become one of the most successful, because of her qualification and her domain knowledge, finance ministers. After Sardar Patel, Mr. Amit Shah is the most successful Home Minister. Today you talked about Ukraine war. Today, the President Zelensky, he was going to appear virtually, but when he said that when he found Mr. Modi is coming as in the Hiroshima G7 summit, he went there.
Sir,
today nuclear war. 1 minute. Today, Mr. Modi, you see, he advised Vladimir Putin. So it is one of the best situations India is. Even the US President Joe Biden gets up in the Hiroshima summit, goes across and to Mr. Modi and greets him. And Mr. Putin and the American President both take the counsel of the Indian Prime Minister. Also, the most important thing the whole country should know, Mr. Modi is not only a factor in the Indian elections, he has become a potent factor in the US elections, Canada elections, Australia elections, because
let Mr. Khan come in now.
Because of the Hindu vote bank in those countries.
All right, Mr. Khan, go ahead, sir.
Sir, you said, our BJP spokesman also said that India has become the fifth largest economy, more than $3 trillion. Sir, 6.5 crore population is of England. We have replaced that. So per capita income, we are at 142. If you go by this per capita income, because this is the criteria every country in the world is assessed the economic conditions of that country. According to this $3 trillion economy, if you multiply with our population, which supposed to be our GDP must be according to our population, total population. So we must have more than $60 trillion economy if we want to come at par with England. No, forget about other economies. Our per capita income is 142.
Okay.
It is nearing to the South African countries. You see, and our hunger index is more than 120. You see, we are near to these African countries, and 22 crore people are sleeping hungry in our country.
Okay, let Mr.
What
Tyal
kind
respond.
of development you have done over the years?
Mr. Tyal
Nothing.
respond.
You have destroyed our economy.
All right.
You have destroyed our political system. You have destroyed our social.
All right. Okay. 1 second. Mr. Tyal, you want to respond to that? As far as I know, that the PPP, the purchasing power parity, has a big role to play in this as well, because obviously if you're saying that the population of the United Kingdom is 6.5 crores, you know, what we can afford here in 100 rupees, perhaps people in England cannot afford the same thing in 100 rupees. They might have to pay 1,000 for it. So that also is a factor that we need to compute. Mr. Tayal, come in now.
You know, the answer to his question lies in his own statement. We were given was a fragile economy, right? We were a fragile economy. And today when he says no,
Mr. Tayal, we've lost you. There seems to be a bad connection. Mr. Bhatt, pick up from where I left off.
See, actually it is, you know, from fragile 5 to top 5 is an achievement. Nobody is denying a fact that liberalization doors were opened in 1991 by P.V. Narasimha Rao.
can you hear me?
After that, the whole thing started. But from fragile 5 to top 5. And as you said, PPP. Take an example of a Coca-Cola. A Coca-Cola today in Bharat costs you about 25, 30 or 40 rupees. But the same Coke tin will cost you $2 in USA. That means, according to Indian standards, that will be 160 rupees. That is purchasing power parity. And that is the way it has to be calculated. And that is the way it has to be thought about. So, and that's why I always say, see, we cannot be compared with anyone else. These people are talking about, you know, World Hunger Index and this index and that. Who took out those indexes? What is their population?
Then, sir, what we can compare?
You cannot compare.
Then what?
Those indexes.
22 crore people sleeping hungry.
And come out with a realistic reports. Now here, you know, I must suggest BJP spokesman is here. India also should bring out the indexes.
We are talking superfluous things. We are not talking to the point.
Let him finish, sir.
And where they stand. And this will happen in a couple of years' time. Because the process of de-dollarization has started in the world. Let it go ahead further. Let
We can be happy, sir. We can be happy dreaming Mungeri Lal.
Okay, Mr. Chandra.
We are not nowhere on the ground.
Ji, today we are in a situation where, you know, I'm reminded about the opposition parties, you know, state of opposition in India. The workers of opposition parties are asking, इधर उधर की बात छोड़, ये बता मेरा कारवां क्यों लुटा, मुझे राह गुजर से गिला नहीं, तेरी रहबरी का सवाल है, your leadership का सवाल है. Today it is rudderless. You see, and today, but for criticizing Mr. Modi, the very fact everybody against Mr. Modi shows the power of Mr. Modi. Congress started first chai wala, then Sonia Gandhi said maut ka saudagar. I don't know whether she knows the the English translation of that. Now you have in 2014 Rahul Gandhi said we have dismantled Mr. Modi before the elections came. So fact of the matter is this: the whole country realizes, the great Bharatvarsh realizes that today our borders are most secure under Mr. Modi. 1 minute. And let me tell you, 1 minute. I would like to also, 1 minute. I 1 minute. I would,
Okay. All right. We have. One second, Mr. Khan, Mr. Chandra, Mr. Khan and Chandra, we have, as is run out of time. Yeah.
The editor of the Time magazine to make Mr. Modi the person of the century.
Okay, all right, okay.
He has done for this border.
All right, Mr. Khan, all right. Before closing in, let's tap into the pulse of the people of Wayanad and find out what their issues are this Lok Sabha elections.
बात बड़ा बात है, लेकिन पूरा बात है, कुछ भी नहीं होता है.
ओके सर, इस बार इलेक्शन में वायनाड में खास तौर पे क्या इश्यूज देख रहे हैं लोग? क्या आपको लगता है कि महंगाई, बेरोजगारी, ये जो तमाम जो इशू हैं, ये एक बड़ा मुद्दा है, बड़ा फैक्टर?
बड़ा मुश्किल है. बहुत ज्यादा अभी बोल नहीं सकते हम लोग के साथ. इतना बड़ा है. कोई आदमी का, सारा वाला आदमी को खाने के लिए मुश्किल है. कोई ऐसा बहुत है, हो खेती का तो कोई किसान का.
तो सर क्या सोचकर वोट कर रहे हैं? व्हाट आर द इश्यूज?
वोट करना है कि इंडियन का ये है जरूर करना, इसलिए.
और केरल की क्या प्रॉब्लम?
केरल का अभी कोई भी प्रॉब्लम नहीं. प्रॉब्लम नहीं, अच्छा से चल रहा है. फिर भी वोट करना हमारा जरूरी है ना, इसलिए करने क्या है.